What's up, everybody? It is a Blue Drake, and today I wanted to talk about a game that I have recently grown a lot more of an appreciation for. Today we're going to be taking a look at the game Dying Light, and this game came out almost half a decade ago now. And I think that this kind of brings up an interesting point because this game still looks incredible. I think if you were to show this game at E3 tomorrow, everybody would be blown away and it would be like, oh wow, here's a really cool next-gen game. And it's because it still looks beautiful, and the reason I think it looks beautiful, and this is one of the reasons I want to make this video because I think this kind of illustrates a point, we are starting to hit a graphical wall in the gaming industry. We are starting to get to a point where games don't really look that much better year to year as they used to look. Back in the day, every single year that you would go to a conference, every single year that you would go to E3, it was like an exponential scale of how much better things would look, you know, from one year to the next. And we definitely still have a couple of outliers. There are some projects that get shown where you're like, wow, yeah, that's really pushing the bar. But there's two things to take into consideration. The first thing is, are there really as many games nowadays that are pushing the visual bar, where they are just so exponentially better looking than games many years, in some cases half a decade prior? Are they really that much better looking in order to make it worth buying them for graphics alone than previous games that had come before it? Let's see, hold up, I gotta get up this thing. Oh, come on. Away from these stupid zombies. So that's point number one. I think we're hitting a wall, and it's starting to get to a point where I don't think you can really leverage visuals for a game anymore in order to convince people to buy it. And then the second thing is, does it matter? Oh my god, I still love this game too. It feels good too. Damn. Kill the shit out of you. And that's another thing that I want to get to a point. We are also at a time where I don't think people care about graphics as much as they used to. I certainly don't. We're at a time where there's a lot of really good-looking games out there. A lot of games that are cheap or free sometimes. Games that are old from years before. Some of them actually have mod support. And we've got games coming out yearly now that the industry seems to be trying to get everybody hyped about, that they try to get me hyped about, that really look the same. That look the same as games that came out, sometimes even looking worse than games that came out significantly before. And I think that we're reaching this point where, especially when you have people trying to incorporate loot boxes and highly monetize things, the big question now, more than ever, is why should I buy a new game compared to so many games that don't have loot boxes, don't have hyperlation, look just as good, if not better, and in many cases also have mod support and are cheaper? That's a big question. And we've made videos talking about the gaming industry stock market in the past, and how we've made predictions about how the stock market was going to have a crash, and then it was going to level out and probably stay leveled out for a while. And I think that that's actually one of the biggest reasons. Is there really as big of a reason to buy games as there used to be? They're not looking any prettier. In some cases, a couple of them are getting bigger and are having much more vast, open worlds and whatnot. But we're also getting to a point where, does that really make a game good? And Dying Light is just one of those games that, oh my gosh, it's epic, it's fun, it's multiplayer. It actually does have mod support. I mean, they didn't make a huge point of having mod support, but they don't stop you from modifying the game, and it does have support for it. And I don't know, I've actually been playing it a lot more recently. Look at how epic it looks. It's about to be nighttime soon, and nighttime, that's when things get serious. Oh, we got a couple of hunters coming. Ugh. Uh-oh. I don't think so, buddy. Hello, is there... Oh! There's some enemies down here. Oh, crap! Out of bullets for that. I got a pistol still. Oh, shit! Look, do I have any... I don't. I was hoping I had a Molotov.
This is it for you.
Time to get dirty, boy! Come on, bring it. This game is still so awesome.
Now you're making me.
Oh, crap! Ow. Heal up. Okay, alright, let's see what we got. Uh-oh. What we got? The game is almost kind of like a zombie Skyrim with multiplayer. Oh, shit. Go away. Ah, crap. That was awesome. Open sesame, please. Ah, yes. I need that. Okay, excellent work. Excellent work, me. Oh, crap. Oh, shit.
Get off me!
Have fun, boys. Damn it. Let me get out of here. There we go. No. Grab that ledge. Come on. It's getting late. Ugh. Oh. The climbing system in this game is so sick. Man, this game is badass. So, it's funny when I see comments where I'll be talking about the future of the game industry, and I'm like, you know, I really think we're heading up for a market crash. And I'll have so many people that say, you know what? I am so ready for that. You know, like, please let there be a crash. Hold up, there's an emergency. Oh, crap, come on, get up here. What's going on? I got you, buddy.
Try to get me now, you freak!
Goodbye, Mr. Head.
You can't get me, asshole!
Like a chicken with its head cut off. Just kick him while it's down. Awesome.
Nice to see a friendly face for a change.
Nah, it's fine.
We'd be a bloodstain if you hadn't come along.
Oh, right. Hold up. Let me get your money. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hold up. I would love your money. Yes, sir. I am greedy. Oh, yes, thank you. Enforcer. I will gladly take that. Look at this. And it's completely open world. You can go wherever you want. I am interested in games that are expanding the scope of things. You know, I really am interested in planet rendering, planet-based games. I honestly think that might be one of the last frontiers when it comes to game development, it really is going to be one of the last frontiers for a while, is planets. I think we're starting to see more and more games where that's the main selling point. And I think that's a good selling point to have, actually. If you can eventually get to a point where you have a world that is this rich and detailed and has this much content and this many things to do, but you have it across an entire planet, I would love to see that. And I think it's absolutely possible. When you look at procedural generation and how people are doing really tricky things in order to crunch what seems to be a lot of information, but into a small enough data set where you can actually propagate it across an entire planet to make an entire planet feel lively and interesting, but only use a small bit of data that just recombines itself in interesting ways to create interesting or seemingly interesting content across an entire globe. That is a new frontier. That really is a new frontier. And when you look at even what Star Citizen is doing when it comes to making those giant, vibrant cities, that's really where that frontier is. I think that is one of the things that I respect most about Star Citizen. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things about Star Citizen that is still kind of feels weird. Like the player controller and the infantry gameplay still feels kind of clunky. It almost feels like Arma, which is not a good thing. Which would be a real shame, because they are actually accomplishing a few very nice things. And it would be a shame if those nice things, since it's all proprietary technology, and I don't believe there's going to be mod support of any kind for Star Citizen, but it would be a shame if some of those awesome things that they're doing are overshadowed by a few of the things that they're not doing well, like, you know, game feel and whatnot. But that's just kind of where we're going to now. We're starting to get to a point where, and I think it's potentially a good thing, actually. We're starting to get to a point where games that are from 2015 look just as good as games from from 2019. And I think that's exactly how it should be. I really want to start getting to a point where we're not just making new, flashier games every year. I want to get to a point where we're taking existing game concepts and existing things that we haven't seen done right yet and getting them done right. I can't tell you how many games. Look at Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. Dragon Rising is an excellent example, and that game came out, what, 10 years ago? It still looks great. But the problem is it doesn't have mod support. It wasn't done right. It could have been done right, but it wasn't. And I think it's cool that we live into a world where, you know, we just want to make a game that is just as good as Dragon Rising. We just want it to actually be open and have the few things that it was missing. And luckily, we don't have to worry about, you know, the look of things, because, you know, if we can get a game that looks as good as that, I think the vast majority of people don't really care. So that is the new frontier. Some bad guys down here. Some night crawlers. Man, this game is epic. I'm surprised they don't see me. Haven't seen me yet. I think I got a bow and arrow. Crap. Oh, they found me. Head the other way, head the other way. Oh my god! This game gets so intense sometimes. This game is right up there with Isolation. It's not at Isolation's level, but it's up there when it comes to my pucker factor. my arrows back, please. Shit. Okay. Have any rifle ammo? Still have some pistol ammo. Just want to make sure those stupid nightcrawler things don't come after me. I don't think so. What the hell was that? Just explode? Oh! Oh crap! Shit! Ah! Ah! 6 bullets. 6 bullets. The terrified breathing sounds makes it worse for me. Bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it! Ah, crap! Oh, crap. Oh no, oh no, they're coming for me. Ah! 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 No! No, there it is! Oh! Oh, dude, the pucker factor. Oh well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Wanted to show you how good this game still looks. Dying Light. There's actually a sequel that's coming out soon that is pretty cool, and one of the reasons I'm actually kind of excited about the sequel is it does do some of the things that we were talking about. Like, it's not just focusing on making a game that looks prettier, making a game that has deeper mechanics. It's going to have more involved, kind of like almost Skyrim or Fallout style decisions that you have to make, which is really exciting. It's really cool, and I'm actually pretty excited for Dying Light 2, but more importantly, I'm excited about studios that are going to start focusing more on making good games and not just making games that are flashy, because flashiness, I mean, everybody can do flashiness now. Oh, let's see if I can actually fight this guy. I can't remember if this is... That's what I thought, punk. You're nothing. You're nothing. But yeah. Exciting. I'm also using a mod for this. I'm using a heads-up display mod, so I don't have a crosshair, and I take away some things like the objective screen, which is really lame and gets in your face. So if you guys actually want that mod, let me know. Maybe I'll put that up somewhere so you guys can use it yourself. But that's it. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and Blue Drake loves you, baby girl. Alright, cheers, Family Lambs.